What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We're going to take a look at High on Life here for Game Pass, basically running on the Xbox Series X, the PC, and cloud, all with the Game Pass Ultimate subscription. So if you have Game Pass Ultimate, and especially if you've been waiting for High on Life to land like I have, it's great because you'll be able to pretty much play this game anywhere that you want to. Now, as far as settings, when we get into console, which will be Series X and cloud, there aren't really any video options other than motion blur and gamma. So it's running 60 FPS just the way it is. Now you can see we're going to get into some FPS dips here on the Series X, and I knew this was happening. I could feel it in the cloud version, so I was very curious to go check out the Series X because that's technically the version you have in the cloud. And while it most of the time runs a very nice 60 FPS and looks fantastic, it has these little dip downs that go down and come back up, and this happens on PC, cloud, Series X. It's not just on the Series X, and this is after the patch that they have already put out. I'm sure optimization will get better as we go, but I do want to highlight these, and it is kind of just happening everywhere and seems to be more the game than anything else. In combat, it's very similar on the Series X, where we basically hold our frame rate. Sometimes we'll come down into the 40s or 50s for a moment and we'll go back up, and of course you do feel these, especially when you're in the middle of combat versus maybe just load in areas or whatever, but they don't break the game and they're not super prominent, and I do feel like it's something that they should be able to patch out relatively soon and stabilize that experience, which would be great. Now, let's go over and take a look at PC compared to this, and of course we'll be 1440p here. We have a lot more options on full screen and on very high to start with as we get into the hub here, and it will pretty much exhibit similar performance issues. Now, we can power through a little bit. PC is a different beast, but you'll still see with our frame times and our FPS and stuff that we do still exhibit those kind of optimization issues and dropping. You know, you could be in the high 60s or 70s and then all of a sudden come down into the 50s and back up, or your screen will hitch and you'll get some hiccups there, which, you know, when you're running variable refresh rate, you can kind of get used to, but it should be a smoother transition between those frames than this, and maybe not such a dip so fast. So definitely similar issues to the console version. Now I switched over to high on everything to kind of try to help mitigate some of these issues, which it did help as we kind of get into some of the combat here as we get out away from the hub and into the world. And of course, depending on where you're at in this game, performance is going to vary all over the place. I can only show examples of the hub and this particular bounty that I'm in right now, but performance is pretty good. It's just that you can see the same kind of issues on PC as you do on Series X. As we walk through right here, you'll see another big dip and a load in and a stutter there. So I think they can smooth those out for us on all the different platforms as we go forward. Combat on PC feels just as good as it does on Xbox. However, I would want to tweak my settings a bit more to try to get myself 60 most of the time. But I think if they just fix the game a bit more, we might not even have to do that. I think that even with this PC hardware, we should basically be able to run high and get up there towards the 60 FPS mark. All right, let's go over and take a look at xCloud. So that's not going to be as smooth or as sharp. It's 1080p 60 FPS streaming here on the PC app, and of course it's running the Series X version of the game in the cloud, so sometimes it feels like a great 60 FPS experience, and sometimes it has those same dips, which when you're talking cloud gaming, you feel those and see those more than you do on local hardware. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. But what I will say when it comes to High on Life here on xCloud is it's one of the better performing games recently for me that I've tested. A lot of games I've tried on xCloud recently, just in all honesty, have not been that great. Either too pixelated, or the latency is no good, or I'm getting scan lines across the screen, and I didn't have any of that in this game for cloud, which was nice. So the latency feels good, aiming feels pretty good, it's not super laggy, and the pixelation is there. We do lose details in the distance, especially at the 1080p. It's not the cleanest, but it's much better than what a lot of games have been recently, and I think whether you're going to play on your console, your PC, or the cloud, High on Life is running pretty good. It has room for improvement, and I'm sure it'll get better, but I'm happy with it pretty much everywhere. So if you're Game Pass Ultimate, enjoying High on Life, you can definitely play this game everywhere. All right, guys, thanks a lot for coming to check out the video. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one.